Welcome to Happiness Hacks, the podcast that teaches you to become the happiest person you know.
Keep practicing raising your baseline of happiness. Do some mindful meditation, 5 minutes each day, a little bit of gratitude.
We can wake up each and every single day and choose to be happy. And I find that to be key.
Today on the podcast, I am very excited to welcome our inaugural guests. Our first real guest. My wife and I did the first episode, and this is our outside guest. Within Happiness Hacks, we talk about the 7 hacks. Today's hack is quieting the mind. And this guest is so apropos for what it means to quiet the mind. I can't wait to have a great conversation. I'm talking with Amitha Khema. He is a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk living and working in the United States. And he is the resident monk at the Buddha Meditation Center of Washington, D.C. and the Buddhist chaplain at George Washington University. And his mission is that he is dedicated to helping people cultivate clarity, compassion, and inner peace in everyday life, which sounds exactly like what mindfulness and meditation is all about. So I am excited to chat with Amitha. Amitha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jim, for inviting me. I'm so excited to have a good conversation regarding mindfulness.
Awesome. Fantastic. Let's start off with, tell us, why is mindfulness, we're going to get right in. Why is mindfulness important to happiness?
Because there are 2 ways of being happy. The one way is like by receiving something. We call that sensual pleasure happiness, where you don't find a fulfillment and always there are drawbacks and suffering. But there is another happiness which comes within yourself, not by receiving something, but just itself comes. Like we say, it's like being happy for no reason. If anyone would like to be happy for no reason, I mean, irrelevant of how much they have in their bank account or so then definitely they need mindfulness. So yeah, that's the reason. If you want to be happy, then you need mindfulness. I mean the inner happiness.
Inner happiness. Okay, so we have the outer happiness, like getting things, right? I think it's kind of the idea of like, things that provide happiness. You call it sensual happiness, I believe. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's called sensual happiness. And the thing is, it does not have the fulfillment, and you don't feel like, okay, that's enough. You need something else. Think that you are lack of 100,000. Then once you get 100,000, you need 1 million. So that's how it works.
Is it like the idea in America that we say keeping up with the Joneses of like, oh, my neighbor's got a new car, I need to get a new car. Oh, my neighbor put a new shrubbery in the front of their house, I need to put new shrubbery in front of my house. And I like that you pointed out it lasts for that period of time, short, whatever that period of time is, but eventually it wears out. And so the key, you said, is inner happiness. I like that wordage, inner happiness, the peace and the happiness that comes with it from within. So let's talk a little bit about your story. As a Buddhist monk, you are originally from Sri Lanka. I would love to hear how you were raised and how you took this journey down to monkhood, as I would say.
Yeah. So Jim, I was born and raised in Sri Lanka, and then yes, Sri Lanka is a majority Buddhist country, and then like they are practicing Buddhism as culture. Can say they are practicing it as a way of life, because as an example, so the mindfulness is a key point of the practice. So even the majority are Buddhists, they not everyone practicing mindfulness. And so likewise, so it's we are just Buddhist, and but then maybe in my secondary school, I got a scholarship and I went to a Catholic school where I got chance to expose to other religions and philosophies and other wonderful. Actually, our principal, fathers and sisters, they are amazing. They are like kind of example for kind-hearted. And so while being in that school, and I got the chance to, my major was biology, and the same time we need to learn about chemistry. And I got a tutor, I went to a tuition class, and In that tuition class, my tuition master in regular interval discussed about the philosophies, and he introduced Buddhist teacher, Buddhist monk, my teacher, Most Venerable Kiribad Galugnananand Thero. Or
Okay. Hold on one second.
yeah, yes, that name is really difficult. More
Yeah.
syllables.
Would you repeat his name again?
Most Venerable Kiribad Border Jnananand.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Mouthful. Okay.
He's so we say just teacher, and that's how the most
Okay.
yes, you don't want to think of the name, but yeah. So then, so I got a chance to read the scripts of the Buddha, because our teacher used to translate Buddha's teachings to our native language.
Okay.
And I read around 2000 scripts, and then I decided, okay, I should be a monk, and that's how I started my journey.
Mm. You said that in secondary school you had the opportunity to go to a Catholic school. Is that correct?
Yes.
And was that in Sri Lanka as well?
Yeah, because Sri Lanka is a colonial country back then, like more like most famous, one of the most famous tea factories where British government had.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's how Sri Lanka exposed to the Dominican Catholic schools.
And it's interesting. I spoke to someone recently who was from Thailand. She was Thai Sikh, and so she was raised in the Sikh culture, but she also went to a Catholic school that her parents went to, and they sent her to India to go to a Catholic school. So it's interesting as a Buddhist monk, and you said that the primary the primary religion in Sri Lanka is Buddhism, but it's also culturally sort of part of the culture of Sri Lanka. What was the reason for going to the Catholic school? Like, you're raised in this one religious mind. Hey, let's explore. Let's learn about Catholicism. What was the reason for that?
Yeah. So our school had like you know that even though our school is a Catholic school, like 12 to 15% Catholic children studied in our school, because the same reason there, because majority of the country are Buddhist, and then school provide all the religious facilities to the Catholic students, and they allowed us to organize by ourselves if we want whatever the religion you belong, and to organize and do the things by ourselves. So that made kind of a leadership thing. And then in the same time, when we see that how other religions functioning, and it felt like, first of all, I think I felt like I need to find my roots, and that was the reason. And then uh, so since I got a chance to learn about the other religions and things, and because I think I'm a kind of a rational thinker, like it's hard to convince someone to say like, okay, you should believe this. If someone say that you should believe this, at that moment onwards, I may question that what they says. So teacher, what to do? That's how my mind is. So then, so because I want real answers. So I think I found it in Buddhism. That's how. Thanks to our school, first of all.
Yeah. Yes. I love that philosophy of when someone tells you that you have to believe it, that you question it, and you immediately question it. Of why do I have to? But why is this true? I think all too often, especially in today's society, we don't question things enough. We just hear what we hear it on the news, on our social media, what our leaders tell us, wherever it comes from. We hear something and we believe it without question. And I love that that you took on that sort of belief, that philosophy of, is this true? Let me kind of explore this a little further and find out if it resonates with me. So I think that's a sign of someone who has like the questioning mind allows you to really hone in on certain beliefs. And one thing that I know about the Dalai Lama that I heard him say that I love is he's always been willing to let go of certain beliefs. he'll believe one thing for another. And I don't know if he used this example, but I'm going to use it. Like, we as human beings used to believe the earth was flat. It was flat several hundred years ago in our minds as humans, until we actually sailed all the way around the world, discovered, oh, it's actually a sphere, it's a globe, and oh no, it's not flat. You're not going to fall off the edge. So we collectively as humans, most of us, shaped our belief that the earth, and so the idea that our beliefs are not set in stone and are not static, that they can change. I love that you had that. You took that belief on early on. And the other thing I want to comment is the going of, that blows me away. And I think it's really great, of exploring other philosophies. Some people may do that, and like maybe Buddhists, and say, I'm going to go to this Catholic school, and it can weaken their belief in their own religion, their own culture, because now all of a sudden they're introduced to something that's completely different. It sounds like for you, that didn't happen.
Yeah. So I think if we have open mind and like open heart, and then we are ready to, it's instead of that framing ourselves, this is what I believe and no one should step onto my toes or something like that. If we have an open mind, so then we can explore and we can learn many things. As I said, that that thing may not happen. I believe that if I couldn't go to that school, I may
Yep.
be a cultural Buddhist, but I nothing else. I may be a regular, just like you. I may have my own job and family also. Again, that's why I'm saying that school like that, and that, getting a chance to expose to the other religions and things, and it allows us to question what we are doing, and then that questioning allows us to improve us, as you said, mentioned that Dalai Lama said that. Yes, in our lives, at one point, we may have to change our beliefs, and we are doing it if it does not hurt us. And sometimes because when we feel like it hurts us, so hurts our friends, or it hurts people who are around us. Sometimes we secretly believe something, or we secretly change our beliefs without saying to the others. So yeah, that
Mhm.
when it comes to belief, there are so many things to talk about that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to stay a little bit more on Buddhism, only because coming from Sri Lanka, I've discovered over the years there's different types of Buddhism, just like different denominations of Christianity, like Catholicism, Protestant, and then within Protestant, it breaks down even further. And so with Sri Lanka, the primary Buddhist philosophy is the Theravada Buddhism, correct?
Yeah, Theravada is the almost 95 or 99% the Theravada Buddhism.
Okay. Would you talk a little bit about that? The difference in how that philosophy of Buddhism is different than others?
Yeah, so that the Theravada, sometimes it says Hinayana, and it's it's the most ancient remaining Buddhist school in the world. If we want to frame it what is the main quality of that tradition, so it's the answer for that is like they practice most ancient discipline, and they rely on the first spirits. The first spirits means when Buddha was alive, he organized his teachings, but he did not ask to write it down. But it's like verbally, generation to generation. That's how they protected the teachings. So they believe in that the ancient teachings, like which the core teachings, we talk about the four universal truths or the four noble truths. The other schools has that later edition. So sometimes we, instead of saying like late edition, because since I'm outsider for the other school, I can say that it's a late edition. But in their point of view, it's there are some teachings which has not publicly speak. Only that teachings were remain with enlightened monks, and that's how they got these teachings. Well, so that's the main difference, like the most ancient remaining tradition, and again follows the ancient disciplines, the codes, and also rely on the most ancient scripts.
And you mentioned, I believe this is true across all Buddhist denominations. I don't know the exact terminology, but all different philosophies of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. Would you share with the audience what the Four Noble Truths are in Buddhism?
Yeah, the Four Noble Truths means that it understand, so that basically it's like don't just try to get at that just understand from the words, because this is the only way to say that. First I will say the words and then I will describe it further, then you can ask questions. So the
Okay.
first noble truth is first of all, noble means the universal truth. The meaning is, it says in Pali Buddha's language, tata vitata ananyata. It means that this is the way, and it is not changing to something else, and no one can change it. So in this world, it has a reality. That's the thing always happening. It's not changing to something else, and no one can change it even. So it is the suffering. So then there's a cause for that suffering. That also no one can change. That's the exact way it's happening. Which is the cause for the suffering is the attachment. And then third one is the cessation of suffering, end of all the suffering. That's the third universal truth. For that, we need to let go the attachment. And then fourth is path to cessation of suffering. If someone want to let go attachments and eradicate all the suffering, so there's a path. So it's called the Noble Eightfold Path. Mindfulness is the seventh fold of that eightfold. So that's how it is. So in when say the suffering means, it's like in brief, whatever the things we have attached in this world, it has suffering. So that means suffering, the definition for suffering is like anything we have attached mentally or materially. So wherever we have attached, that's where the suffering is. So in brief, we can say that it's like we understand suffering, we understand the cause for the suffering, and we let go that attachment, not the suffer. We are not asked like try to let go suffering, but we are practicing let go the attachment to let go the suffering, and there's a path to that. That path is the what we are practicing.
Ah, fantastic. So the Four Noble Truths revolve around suffering.
Yeah. We can say that. So it's suffering and end of suffering.
Suffering and end of suffering. The fact that suffering exists, why the suffering exists, that we can end the suffering, and then how teaching through the Eightfold Path, teaching us how we can release and let go of that suffering, which is a great segue, great lead in. You said the seventh of the Eightfold Path is mindfulness. And today we're here to talk
Right.
about meditation and mindfulness. Now, you came to the United States. How long have you been in the US?
Now almost 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. And you are, as I said, the Buddhist chaplain at GWU at George Washington University, and you're also the
Yes.
resident monk at the Buddha Meditation Center of DC, Washington, DC. Talk a little bit about those two roles, if you will.
Yeah. So the Buddha, when I came here to Buddha Meditation as a Buddha Meditation Center, so our center, that's a pretty common thing in this Theravada tradition. You often don't see monks maybe in interfaith activities. So they just meditate, and again it's not like because Buddhist practice is not like a religious practice, like why it has the religious part and culture, but it most of the time like meditating and understanding their own mind. So after I came here, so actually, if I'm being honest, I did some research regarding that. If I'm coming here, there should be a purpose. So then I did a research, and then I found that where the people talk about the Buddhist teaching. So what I found is that most important part is the mindfulness. Then I saw that there's a nice course developed John Kabat-Zinn in 1970s, MBSR, or the meditation based stress relief. that's the first course which exposed mindfulness systematically to the American culture, I believe. And so it talks about the Buddhist teachings. And so then my idea also, since I learned in a Catholic school, like, and the Buddhism is like, instead of like a religion, because Buddhism has a six qualities means like, the first one is that for the eradication of suffering, this teaching is well discoursed, and then we can understand this teaching here and now, not in a next life. And then akaliko, it means that it's a timeless teaching. That means that even though Buddha exists like 2600 years ago, this is not an old teaching, because he didn't invent something. He just discovers the characteristics of this existence. And then Ehipassiko, this is a teaching open to all, not for a particular group of people. So what monks practice, the same thing it taught to the other people, religious or non-religious, or to anyone. So Buddha one time saying that these teachings are shining when you question, when you ask, like when you open it, like sun and moon shine when there is no clouds covering the view. And then it's a inverse teaching. No matter how many scientists praise about mindfulness and practices, you have to see it within yourself. And the last quality is, when you see it within yourself, you will realize you will gain the knowledge or wisdom up to your level. So in other words, you will get the graduation up to your level, up to your current level, when you practice it by yourself. For that purpose, this is a very open teaching. And then this is a timeless teaching, not an old teaching. And you can understand it here and now. And for that purpose, this is a well discourse. So since these qualities are in the teachings and anyone can practice, no one want to convert or do anything, our monastery, our friend monks, and we decided to start a program called Meditate with the Monk. So yeah, it's like a 90 minutes meditation, like stress relieving, body scanning, and with a small vipassana discussion and loving kindness meditation. And we got like even sometimes 100 meditating with us, sometimes 50 meditating with us. So then that Buddha Meditation Center programs, it was like a kind of a popular thing. It got kind of a attraction. So then in the same time, the university also requested to do a program in wellness center, and then the university they didn't have the chaplainry, religious chaplainry, for like 20 years for some reason. And then when they started, like in their fresh started, they invited to me to also join with them, and then that's how I joined with them. And the most important thing related to university, thanks to university, so that when the Walk for Peace monks who came walking from DC, Texas to DC, I got opportunity to that organizing in DC, like hosting where monks stay, where monks going to deliver the discourses, and with mindfulness teaching. So then with the university, because Washington National Cathedral also doing chaplainry to the university. So we all together host monks, and we invited them to National Cathedral, and we all organized those things, and we host Smith Center where like maybe 4,000 maybe meditated with us like 2 hours.
Wow.
And then in the Lincoln Memorial, in front of Lincoln Memorial, there were I don't know the exact count, but more than 15,000 joined to the final event. So we did so many things with the university while doing our other meditation programs and so.
Wow. Wow. Okay. You give me a lot there. I have a question about Buddhism, because you said, which I think is really great that you brought that up, especially as a monk, a Buddhist monk. You said that Buddhism isn't really a religion in the same sense of like Catholicism or Judaism or Islam. And that's a question that people have asked me before. I wouldn't say I'm a practicing Buddhist, but I have studied Buddhist philosophy and it really resonates with me. I guess my question, and I hope you can kind of explain this. The Buddha statues. Buddha is often compared as a Christ-like figure, and I think that the comparison is valid as always a teacher, just like Christ was a teacher. He taught these moral teachings, but he never proclaimed that he was God the way that the Bible says Jesus is also God. So in Buddhism, you're not worshiping Buddha the way Christians would worship Jesus. However, that said, every sort of area that has kind of a Buddhist attachment, whether it be a monastery or some sort of like place of reverence for Buddhism, there is a Buddhist statue. And my Christian friends often think, oh, you're praying to the Buddha statue. And I'm like, well, no, that's not really it. Can you explain, number one, can you clarify that a little bit? And number two, explain why the Buddha statue is there if we're not actually praying to Buddha directly.
Right. During there, it's like if it is a cultural question, it has a cultural answer. It has a philosophical question. The same question we can ask in the as a philosophy class. It has a philosophical answer. So I will say it's like a cultural perspective. So
Okay.
yeah, yes. Yeah, so it's like this. So you know that if we ask in Sri Lanka, it's like a yeah. To Sri Lanka, it's a religion. So
Okay.
but when you say in United States, it's not a religion. Why so? People need a religion. Okay, I think I can connect both and give the answer. In that way, we can have a more clarity about what's happening.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes. So it's like you know that these living humans always need something to believe because that uncertainty hurts them a lot in their daily life. Like they need to hang on to something. So if someone say that okay, we do not need any sort of a religious character or like a person to believe, think that we remove that part, so then people will find something still to believe because yeah, the sun moon were gods back then, and think that there are if I haven't been, but I have heard about some cultural things in North Korea also. They do not follow a religion, but you know what, when people go to see the political leaders statues, they are doing the same thing, like they are crying out of the happiness, like the believing thing happening in there. So it's like
Yes.
we can, yes, Jim, we can erase this believing thing from humans' mind because they, unless they are enlightened, because if they are, I mean, rational people believing in science because that they are believing in a system, that scientific method. So this believing is a kind of a fundamental requirement to the living being as a human. So, but it does not give the full answer, because believing means you are not sure about something. 100%, because we are not believing that we are doing a podcast because we know that we are doing it
Right.
at the moment. So beliefs help. They like, it's maybe like a placebo effect. Also, it helps. So right. So then, if to some people, it's kind of a belief. So, and to there's another group of people. They, yes, they may need kind of a belief, but they need a full clarification and clear about what they are doing, and they need a fulfillment to their life. For them, they don't mind if someone come and break a Buddha statue. They are not going to fight back. Thinking that someone hurt my Buddha, they will say, okay, nice try. Because, you know what, there's a nice incident. So there was a religious, like a chaos or something in 2000, early 2000, I believe, but that Ajahn Brahmins, Ajahn Brahmavans is Australian, English monk, lives in Australia, practice the Thailand tradition. So one journalist came to see him because that problem arose because another group of people burned a religious book of another group, and it made a kind of a huge like a story, and the people burned the other religious people's village, and so it's like so much of chaos back then in, I think, in nearby India, like not India, nearby country. So
Thank
yeah, because of this, the journalist asked from the monk directly, okay, what do you do if someone take your holy book and put it to the pomade and flush? Then monk wait a moment and answered, probably I may call to a plumber because book can't go through this pipe. So
It's a very
that's how
Buddhist
it is.
answer.
Yes. So so actually Buddha says that Buddha saying that one time if someone put you down and cut you into two pieces, feeling pain is one thing. If you hold anger, you are not following my path because that path does not lead to anger. So it's not like you are hiding your anger. This path helps you to not to hold anger, because we can learn those things diving to more about the present moment awareness. In the present moment we don't have those problems, whatever the things going on in the world. So likewise to that, to the people like them, they will come and worship like others do to Buddha statue, but they are not bowing to the statue. They are thinking of the reflecting the qualities of the Buddha. So therefore, they don't mind that kneel down and paying respect to that statue, like because they do not. Because they are not framing themselves like, okay, I'm superior than these believing people, because they don't want to make a frame and create identity. I am best of the best. They will do everything, but they are philosophically, they are in voice, in wisdom wise, they are like in a different dimension.
I see. Okay. And the and you said when you're meditating or what have you, you're not actually praying or worshiping the Buddha statue. The Buddha statue is there as a reminder of the philosophies and the teachings that Buddha has presented, and so that helps you to connect, I think, to those beliefs or to those philosophies. Is that correct?
To one level, it's right. So then the other level, we can say like, they don't want even a statue to connect to you, and they just do it's like because that's the way, because uh, there should be a way to live, because so it's like when we wake up, there should be something to do, so they do that. And so it's not like a major requirement. A statue is not a major requirement. So likewise to maybe someone believe, so maybe someone using it as a connection to the teachings of the Buddha. Maybe someone, there is nothing special to do there, but since they need a daily routine, they will join there, because whether there's a statue in front of them or not, they can reflect what the reality is about.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about meditation and mindfulness and happiness. And so I know meditation is a large part of the idea of helping you to end suffering, i.e., therefore leading to happiness. So talk more about that. I know in the West, meditation has started to really, well, I guess it's been growing for the last 50, 60, 70 years. But how can meditation lead to happiness? And let's start there. How can meditation help you become a happier person?
Yeah. So meditation lead to happiness. Then the main reason is that it's like that when we have a headache, Tylenol is the best solution. If someone do not have a headache, no one want to Tylenol. So why I don't want to have it? Please don't. That's sort of my behind, right? So since we have stress, so meditation is kind of a Tylenol to relieve the stress. So so it's like, the funny thing is like when we do meditation in stressful states or in DC, it's like the marketing campaign doing by the stress, and because of that, everyone comes to meditation. And when we run a meditation in a slow pace state, then like, why I don't have that stress. I mean, I don't mind because they have some free time. To them, the mindfulness is like the stress relieving is not the best for them because they don't have that super stress.
Right. Right.
And then, so that's a one benefit, but stress is a one thing. The mindfulness always created a pause. Pause means in our actions, like think that if someone hit you, if someone said something which hurts you, so if you don't have a pause in you before you react, you do what you used to do. It's like the pattern you master throughout your life. As an example, I think that if someone used to scare to a snake whenever they see even a far distance, they get panicked.
Yeah.
Likewise, that if we don't have a pause, that means that we are not doing the right thing. We are doing the thing we used to do. So that pause allows us, that means that pause allows us to actually use our brain, which means that when our feelings are like, think that overwhelmed, which means if you are angry, which means that we have that amygdala part in our brain. It's the part it triggers when we are too much emotional. So when it triggers, what happened that the frontal lobe is not working properly. It's like we are the frontal lobe is the place it helps to be a human rather than animal. So that's the main difference. We have a part, we have a frontal lobe to think whether I should do this or not. But if when we are emotional, we are not using that part. Basically, we are like a animal at that moment.
Yeah.
So mindfulness gives you a pause even though you feel in those feelings, because feelings are real, we all share same feeling. But since you have a pause, you have enough time in your mind to do the most efficient thing rather than what you are just doing. So in that case, it protects your happiness, it protects your future happiness, and it helps you to stay calm and navigate through these chaos without putting you into the danger.
I like that. That's great. Many people who come to meditation, especially for the first time, or maybe I've met people, and I'm sure you have as well, who have said, "Oh, I've tried meditation. It doesn't work for me." And my question to that has always been, how many times have you done it? Oh, I did it once or twice. Of course, it doesn't work once or twice. Meditation for me is one of those practices that you have to continuously do over and over and over again. And I think especially when you sit down and do it the first time, you've never meditated before in your life, you're not really clear on maybe even what the purpose of meditation is, or how to meditate properly, or how it works. But it's also, I think, on a sort of a broader stroke, is that we do have all of that mind clutter, the monkey mind. And so we're sitting there the very first time, and the monkey mind is happening, and it's very hard to quiet that monkey mind. Maybe even as a monk who's practiced this for years. So what would you say to like a young meditator, an early meditator who's only done it once or twice, or maybe said, meditation doesn't work for me? How can we get them back in to say, hey, sit down, give it some more chances?
Yeah, if he's ready to receive my ask, I mean, if that person feels not there, he's not feels like offended. So this is my honest answer. I
Okay.
sometimes it may be like, oh, he's so brutal. He's giving like that sort of answer, but the truth is, it's like lack of knowledge on mindfulness. Why so? If we can go to preschool 2 years or so, if we can go to elementary school another 4 to 5 years, if we can go to without getting paid or something, if we can go to middle school without getting paid or something, if we can go to college, and so if we can invest our 25 years to get something like 20 years at least to earn something in future, why we can, if medication is something which gives you happy for no reason, So why you can't commit some time on that?
It doesn't work for me.
Yes. So then, yeah. So if you are in elementary school, yes, of course, you are not getting paid, not even internship. So you have to improve yourself.
Mm, that's good. I like that. I like that answer. So if you want to find that happiness, if you want to find that peace, if this is something that you should come back to again and again and
Yeah,
continue.
but Jim, you know, right? Those sort of answers I will share with the closest people, like, no, to the people who are coming. I usually say it's like, yeah, so it's a, don't think of much. Just if you can feel one breathing or one breath, two breath, and three breath, that's enough. And then count up to 10 and count down 10 to 1, and that's
Mhm.
enough. Then do it like a 1 minute uh, whenever you feel it to do. So, like, to be honest, like 1 minute of mindfulness can make a huge impact for the betterment of our life. So
Mm.
the only thing is we can encourage them with the little different things what they used to do. Is they are not ready to sit and meditate. Okay, when you take your dog to a walk or so, you can do the walking meditation with that, because no one is like inferior or so. If we know about mindfulness, it's our responsibility to find a way to teach them, because it's not the listener's mistake, it's a mistake of the teacher. Because if someone doesn't know about something, the one who knows about it should be able to teach it properly. So the teacher is the one who should find the right channel, not the student, because the student
Mm.
does not know about the benefit, and it's not in the, no one is marketing about mindfulness, because unless there's any sort of a money stream, so therefore it's all about teacher's responsibility.
I love the way you put that. The teacher's responsibility to know, to have to teach a student what they don't know. And
Shameless plug time! Be sure to check out our book and journal featured on Amazon. Just type in Happiness Hacks by Jan Race Prudent and Jim Wills III. Now, back to the show.
you talked a lot about mindfulness. You mentioned mindfulness and meditation. Can you help differentiate that a little bit? And something you mentioned about walking your dog and doing a walking meditation, or how mindfulness is important. Even for 1 minute, you're sitting at a traffic light in your car, and during that 1 minute while the light is red, you have an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Can you help differentiate a little bit between the idea of what is meditation and what is mindfulness, and how are they similar and how are they different?
Right. So the mindfulness is just being aware that you are, you are here. So that it's like the being present. So
Mm.
to be clear, so anyone can say, okay, I'm being aware. That I know that I'm aware that I'm being here. So that the main difference is that find it through your thoughts. Like, if your stories in your head dragging you to those stories, or you can simply see it like thoughts arising and falling in the background, and you are being present to what you feel or what you see or what you experience in this moment. If you are experiencing through your five sense faculties, that means eye, ear, nose, tongue, or body, in this moment, rather than wandering in a story, then you are being mindful in this moment. But
Mm.
what happened most of the time is like we are living in those stories and we see the world through that stories. So because of that, think that if someone did something bad to you, you are not seeing that person as a new person. You see that person with those past experiences. So basically, you see a monster, not a new person.
Mm.
Likewise, yes, the mindfulness is just being aware about how you experience things. Meditation is like using that awareness to improve yourself to for your betterment. There are two ways of meditations. One is samatha, or the calming or focused attention. Idea is you are putting your attention to one anchor point, what you experience in this moment. The other one is insight, or the vipassana meditation. It allows you to understand the characteristics of this existence. That means the impermanence, and that the unsatisfaction it will create because of the impermanence and the non-authority over them. So when you understand this non-authority and you see the rising and falling, so there is nothing to frame me as me or mine or myself. You are just
Mm.
freely existing in this world. So that's what happened. Like basically my awareness is mindfulness is just awareness. Meditation is like using that awareness to improve yourself to your best version.
Okay. And meditation doesn't have to be just sitting. Sitting and there's many types of meditation that involve sitting. There's just the quieting the mind and chanting, and there's mantra meditation and things like that. But it doesn't have to be just sitting. You mentioned about like a walking meditation as you walk your dog. Talk about how people can do that.
Yeah, so if you are being mindful and you can practice meditation in all four postures, that means sitting, walking, standing, or even lying down.
Mm.
But meditation is nowadays a word. It's getting spoiled a lot. Like
Sure.
now there's it's like meditation like a huge umbrella which covers so many different ideas. Nowadays there's some meditation like fishing meditation. Actually, fishing can take it as a meditation. Yes, it's great
Sure.
concentration, it's relief stress, but you are killing a living being. So
Yeah.
it creates this like concentration. Yes, it's kind of a happiness because it relieves stress and you're in the nature and it's so good. But it's gives some sort of a clarity and calmness. But meditation is like far beyond that. It's like we can see it's the surface, but sea is bigger than that, and there's a huge depth in that. So you don't want to stuck in those sorts of things.
Yeah. Now you talked earlier about meditating when the monks did their walk to Washington and meditating in groups. How you had a few thousand, and then in front of the Lincoln Memorial, 15,000. There's this belief in the power of meditation, the collective power of meditation. As people meditate together, that positive. You maybe have a better word, but that positive energy, that positive vibe, the positive feelings spread beyond just those who are meditating. So at the Lincoln Memorial, for example, you have 15,000 people. There may be another 100,000 people wandering around on the mall, wandering around, checking out the memorial, whatever. And the idea is that those 15,000 people meditating, the positive effects of that meditation are actually filtering out to those people who aren't meditating themselves. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think there are some studies because those are, even though it's like hard to believe, I have heard that those are even published in peer-reviewed journals also, because those stats are hard to reject. So
Yeah.
there's like the one thing is called that 1%. If a society if in a place like 1% meditate, that change the that the crime, it reduces the crime rate in the society. Like no one can like say that this because those thugs or those people does not come and meditate and calm themselves. They are having their own life, but it affect to the community for the well-being. So it's like that. So according to stats even. So yes, of course, in Buddhist meditation, as an example, it says that when you practice loving kindness, there are 11 benefits. So like there are 3 benefits in there. Like one is that the other humans will be friendly at you, and even invisible not that bad spirits also will be friendly at you, and even the divinely powers will also be friendly at you. So you can do this and you can see it by yourself if you practice loving kindness regularly as a meditation without expecting people to be nicer, even because that's expectation, it's not a meditation. But you will see that that friendliness is developing around you, and you can experience it by yourself. So then you will be what I always say to the people who are meditators, we have also like if you get a chance to go to our website and see the stats, like because 10% or 15% are the Buddhist meditating, but the 90 or 85% also that comes from different backgrounds. But I'm saying to them that this all the meditators, some special things I'm sharing with them. So what I'm saying that the main thing is, if you are living in a hell, don't complain about that. Be the angel by practicing loving kindness and plant some roses and make things that hell beautiful. Then
Mhm.
people will come to see your hell, see your heaven by because of you. And so you don't want to go to somewhere else, but your attitudes and your kindness will change the world. So one by one, it takes time, but definitely it affects to the society in positively.
Man, he threw so much good stuff out there. You said meditation without expectation. I love that, and that so often, especially in the Western culture, there's a goal that we have to achieve. We're always striving for more, and this goes back to that external happiness that you talked about at the beginning, but also even in something like meditation. Oh, if I meditate, I'm going to be happier. If I meditate, I'll be less stressed. If I meditate, like the if then kind of scenario. And you said, and I think it's such a great point, meditate without any expectation on the outcome. And that's another, core Buddhist philosophy.
Yes. So the most efficient and right thing is, once we understand about that, actually the real problem is, what we talk is not the expectation, attachment to the expectation. You can have expectation, but it's okay. But the problem comes when you attach to that expectation. Yes, of course, you are right that in American culture, everyone expect and they don't do anything if they don't get a benefit. So, at least they here also. That's what I'm nowadays, because we have done so many meditation programs. Now I'm going to turn it to a course, because if there's a course, then they like to practice because they feel like, okay, within 7 days, I'm getting something. But the
Sure.
same thing what I regularly teach, but when I change it to course, everyone is so okay. I'll definitely do that. That's
We
the
have
reason.
fun in the West. We're like, oh, of course, I can do that. I can handle that.
Nothing. Yes, yes. But it just if they receive a certificate, it just says like, okay, I followed this loving kindness course, but that the graduation is not that. If someone criticizes you, if you can hold the same love and kindness you used to have, that's real graduation. So to answer for your question, you can have expectation. So you have expectation in your um, podcast. So it's
Yeah.
okay. But if you have attached to your expectation, then you are putting your happiness. You are like throwing your happiness to like far away, maybe to a 1 year or so. Then you have to achieve that goal to be happy. So until then, you are not happy. But if you are being happy in this moment, and if you have that expectation and you are working on that, expecting that, but accepting whatever the scenarios. So then you are not throwing your happiness, you are working on that, but holding the happiness. So you may not committing yourself like someone who throwed their happiness to like a year or goal which comes in the next year. You may not work like that person because you don't want, because you have happiness. While you are being happy, you are working on that. So that's the reason. So yeah, you may be not like 100% working hard like that, because at the end of the day, that person after 1 year or so, what he feels the happiness what you already have, but that the person who throw their happiness to like 1 year later goal, once they achieve that, you know what they do next? They take that happiness and throw like 3 years forward. They don't have happiness for next 3 years. There is no end on of that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You talked about the ripple effect of meditation, and I think that I just want to go back to that for a second. There have been scientific studies, as you're right, and I was trying to see if I could find one, but it was something published in Scientific American magazine last year. And there have been studies about how people practicing meditation, that ripple effect does help, and it does go out to others who aren't necessarily meditating, that calmness and that peace. And I guess my question in today's world, especially in today, we're in 2026, there's a lot of unrest, unease in the world. There's wars happening in the world. And some people in the West, I think, get very caught up in that and think, oh, wow, there's nothing I can do to help that situation or to make that situation better, or kind of like get very frustrated over, they may want peace in the world, but see all this strife and see all this chaos. How is disquieting the mind? How does meditation help in that regard, or mindfulness help in that regard?
Yeah, once you meditate and once you create clarity, you can see that problems and you can see all the chaos, and but you are not suffering. So you will understand that because here's the thing, what we all need to understand, that throughout the history, the wars and those are not like something new throughout the human civilization.
Right.
It's not the first time and it's not the last time. If any civilization has a powerful leader, that powerful leader try to expand their territories. So throughout the history, and the same way, sometimes they succeed and sometimes they lost their whole territory, and another culture gaining from that. So likewise, if we see like once A eliminated, problem will over. No, because of A, there's it's like A is like the huge tree. Because of that, there are some the other trees are not getting enough sunlight, and they are not growing up. Once A tree is no longer there, the other trees are growing. So likewise, this power is something always shifting from one culture to the other culture, so like one civilization to the other civilization. So what we really need to do is, like, if you are a leader also, you will do such a thing. But there's another part which spirituality and the spiritual leaders can do, which is every civilization has, every culture has some spirituality based on their culture. So it's not like a guest thing which is based on their culture. So that spiritual leaders can pour, spiritual leaders can inject more love, more kindness, more acceptance, more ways to see, put others' shoes and see the world by practicing mindfulness and wholesome qualities. When they teach that to the society, it's not happening in overnight, but it spread like from one generation to the other generation, from one person to the other person. So because of that, culture will enrich with spirituality. So that spirituality will protect that same culture and the other cultures from the danger because of that wholesome quality they practice. So the answer is, so don't think about today. If you want to have a better future, create this wholesome quality. Start to meditate, start to practice mindfulness. Share that benefits with others and ask, then encourage others to meditate. So likewise, you need to practice it and you have to deliver it the way your culture understands. As an example, I can take myself to another culture or another group of people to feel like I'm saying something that that culture below. So what I can say is I can teach it, and one wise person will grab that. Then that wise person will say it the way that culture understands. So that's how this piece shares around the world.
That's kind of like you coming to America and doing a residency.
Yes, we can say so.
I wanted to ask you, why do you think happiness is important?
Because everyone, whatever the things we do in this world, we do only for one thing, which is for the happiness. Some understand what is fulfillment, some are not, but everyone do because they want happiness because dopamine means dopamine secrete. They feel something, they love it. So every living being, I don't know the other creatures, but every human at least, they want happiness. If they don't feel happiness, then they don't feel like they are living.
Mm. And the way to happiness, you talked at the beginning, two types of happiness: the external happiness and the internal happiness. And I just want to reiterate the real peace, the real happiness is that internal happiness, not the striving for the more, the new, the shiny, but finding that peace inside, which goes all the way back to
Yes.
your Buddhist philosophy of
Yeah,
letting go
yeah,
of
Jim,
suffering.
I will add Jim, I'll add something. When we see
Yeah.
the real happiness, someone may feel like, oh, or people who are seeking out happiness feel like offended. So, shall we say it's like
Okay.
this
Okay. Yeah.
internal happiness? It is the only happiness
Mm.
which lead to the fulfillment.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for that correction. Internal happiness is the only happiness that leads to fulfillment, that makes you fulfilled. And you talk a lot about being present, which I know is another idea within the Buddhist philosophy. And there's a quote that I love from a Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. He says, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. But when you're at peace, you're living in the present. And I go back to that all the time when something happens to me and we think about it, we perseverate on it. We think about a conversation we may have had or an incident that happened, and it keeps us stuck in that place in the past or when we're worried. And I love, this is another thing that Dalai Lama talks about, is there's nothing to be worried about, because if it happened in the past, it's done. If it happened in the future, or if it's in the future, it hasn't yet happened. So you can possibly change the outcome or can have some sort of control over it. So there's no point in worrying about it. So being present, we let go of worry, we let go of frustration. And I think that's really important with mindfulness. Can you kind of connect those together a little bit? Meditation, mindfulness, and being present.
Yes, right. Being present is the real mindfulness. That's how the meditation arises. So since you brought that, I will share this and so not to the physics. I mean, I'm saying that in the conscious level, the present moment is the only moment we have in this world. As an example, we can open a door and go to the other room, but there is no door to open and go to past and experience the same thing as it is. Like
Mm,
we can think of how we started this podcast, but there is no way to physically experience that because that's already over.
sure.
So whenever we think, we are not time traveling. We just bring our memory. We just bring it to how we remember the how we kept it in our mind. We just bring it to our mind rather than just traveling through time and experience it and come back. So in the same way, future also, we can think about whatever the things can happen tomorrow or the future in the future, but there is no way to experience it in this moment physically. So I will bring it like this, Jim. So since you brought that Chinese philosopher's words also, can you say something which can happen tomorrow 7 a.m. without bringing any data from your past?
Mm, no.
No, because whatever the future we mean, we think is a reflection of your past. So
Yeah.
if you want to have a better future, then you need to correct the past. So since the past is not existing, then definitely you need to correct on this moment. So once you correct everything in this moment, then you are not keeping toxic things as a memory as past. So because of that, your future will be the visual is like more peaceful and with happiness because you don't feel fear about the future and you are not again depressed about your past. So that's what happens when you're being present and practice mindfulness, and that's the goal of the meditation.
Ah, it's beautiful. Thank you for that. And you talked about it before. And as we get ready to wrap up, I would just want to bring it back because I was thinking of someone who says, "Wow, I would love to meditate. I hear the words that are being spoken, that are being shared. I've never done it before. What do I do?" And you talked a little bit about it. Do it for one breath, then two breaths, and then sit for a minute, and then just to kind of extend that period. Just kind of touch on that one once again, if you will, for someone who wants to practice but has never done it before.
Yeah. So if you feel to meditate, just try to relieve your stress through your body scanning, like as we discussed, like breathing practice, and then you can do like deep breathings and breathe outs. With deep breathings and breathe out, try to scan your whole body, top to bottom, toe, like then head to toe. And with breathings and breathe outs, relax your body. Because what we don't know is that we are keeping so much of stress in our body. That's why, unless you are a meditator, whenever you feel your body, you identify your body as a pain body
Mm.
with a pain. So when you relieve your stress with deep breathings and breathe outs, when you scan your body with no rush, just genuinely scan it, and then your monkey might have some two things to do. One is deep breathings and breathe outs. You can focus to that in the same time. You need to focus to your whole body and relax. In that, when you do so, if you can bring a slight smile to your face, then that face slight smile create an inner happiness or inner happy feeling in you. So then you can increase and keep that inner happiness through your breathe ins and breathe outs. And while keeping that happiness, when you relieve your stress and when you broaden your shoulders, release the stress in your muscles by relaxing, will create kind of a calmness. And if you are a more person with so much of stress, it may, once you relax your body, you may feel like I should sleep, but it's okay. At least you'll have a better sleep. But then after sometimes when you practice it, you will be able to ground yourself in your body. So when you know how to ground yourself in your body, so when you walk, you know, walking with with the mindfulness, it's like mindful walking. You know how your body move. You know how your body postures change. So then you are staying connected to your body. Whenever you stay connected to your body, being present, that's what we call the meditation on the body, or the from for foundation of mindfulness. The first part, that being mindful of your body, or the Anupassana in Buddha's teachings.
Mm. And you said it's okay to fall asleep. And I I think I heard someone said once, like in meditating, if you fall asleep when you're meditating, it just means you're tired, and that's okay.
Yes, that's true.
So you are a resident monk at the Buddha Meditation Center of DC. How long is your residency? How long will you be in the US?
Probably another 2 years.
Okay.
So if anyone would like to come, so the best thing is that you just Google Buddha meditation DC. We have online meditation, like today we had online meditation, usually 50, 60 weekly meditating with us in online stress relieving meditation, Eastern time 8 to 9. And if you are living nearby DMV area, you're most welcome to come every Sunday, 5 to 7. We have a meditation. And you can come over first Saturday or third Saturday to our day long retreat, and you can try. It's something rare, Sri Lankan cuisine food in here. And yes, it's a little spicy but delicious. So we have strict translation class. So we are directly learning from what Buddha taught by translating scripts. There are like 18,000 Buddha scripts remaining. So we are learning it in a order, and we have the past classes. You can go through it from our website and YouTube channels. So those are the way they can learn. And if anyone would like to learn more, feel free to write to us to our website. So then whenever we get a chance, or one of our volunteer will get back to you. and connect you to learn about meditation and mindfulness. And sometimes people invite us to come to their place. And of course, we do meditation programs in their places also upon invitation.
Okay, so Googling, and I tried it, Buddha Meditation DC. It goes right to your site, which is buddhameditationdc.org. So anybody who wants to go there, but you can Google Buddha Meditation and it takes you to your site. And you said, I think this is really important that you do online meditations as well. So people who are outside of the DC area can still connect with you and they can still practice with you through online meditation. And so I think that's fantastic. And you also say you have retreats. So you have a lot of different programs there. It's not just meditation, but you have meditation, you have retreats that people can come, a Saturday retreat you mentioned. I see you have a 2-day retreat here, Germantown retreat. And so you do a lot in this space. And I think it's really great that you're helping to kind of spread. I love the idea of, and I appreciate that you came to America and not trying to say, hey, this is Buddhism and I'm spreading Buddhism, but more, here's some philosophies that we practice within Buddhism that you as a larger culture can take that will benefit your culture. And then of course, there's always more if you want to know more. It's kind of like in yoga, how yoga came to the West. And I don't want to use the word dumbed down, but more simplified. Like, okay, we're not going to attach it so much to Hinduism. Here's the yoga philosophies and how you can practice them and tie them to your regular life. Here's philosophies that we practice in Buddhism. One of them being meditation and mindfulness. And it's helped us. Maybe it'll help you. Come join us if you wish. Is that a correct assessment?
100%. I second it.
Well, thank you. As we wrap up, any last words of wisdom? You've given so much today, so many great thoughts, and I think a lot that people can take with them to help start or deepen a meditation or mindfulness practice, help them on their path to happiness. But I want to, any last bits of wisdom or words that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would like to share since your class that King Alexander's son-in-law, he also later became a monk in India. So he was, even though he's a great emperor, he's asking he asked him wise questions from a monk. There's a book on those questions called that the questions from many and for the million. So yeah, one time he's asking, okay, so since I'm not suffering at the moment, I don't have much suffering. So why should I waste my life in this moment to practice these teachings and mindfulness? So what is the reason? Then that monk gave a wise answer for that. If you wait until you feel thirsty to dig a well and get water, then you will you won't make it. And then saying, if you wait until another country come and invade you to prepare your military, then you are gonna lose it. So prepare yourself before sufferings hit you. Sometimes that sufferings comes as a grieving, sometimes the suffering comes as like a financial stress, sometimes it comes like you don't feel a purpose of this life, like depression. So before those things hit, prepare yourself with mindfulness and the practices which resonate, that it improves yourself to your better version, like accepting the nature as it is.
Accepting nature as it is. Now, I'm going to have to ask you one more question then, because things do happen. Life is suffering sometimes. You know, we have tragedies, we have illness, things like that. You're not saying people to not feel those things, correct? Like, I got in a car accident. Let's go like deep tragedy. I got into a car accident. My partner died. I destroyed my car. Like, terrible tragedy happened to me. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to have, I mean, that is suffering, right? Like, that's okay to experience this.
Yeah, 100%. Because if someone asks, if someone say don't feel that, then probably he is not a monk. Probably he is someone work in the bar also, because the alcohol is the best solution for that, just not to feel that.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, this meditation is to navigate through that, sit
Mm.
in the nature and navigate through them. It's not like not to fear, feel it and navigate through that.
Okay, I like that. Feel it and navigate through it. And meditation and mindfulness can help with that. Most Venerable Amitha Khema, I really appreciate you sitting down and chatting with me today. Such great wisdom. And one more time, the website for anybody who wants to reach out and learn more about you, buddhameditationdc.org. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom today.
You're welcome, Jim, and thank you for asking those honest and questions because without those questions, these answers are never come.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to the Happiness Hacks podcast. I am your host, Jim Wills, and I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to the Venerable Reverend Amitha Khema for sitting down and sharing his wisdom on mindfulness and meditation. To learn more about all things happiness, head on over to happiness.hacks.org and make sure to check out the Happiness Hacks book and journal, co-authored by myself and the beautifully talented and wise Jan Race Prudent. Be sure to tune in next time as we discover another incredible way to become the happiest person you know.